We are live. Fazless Friday live. We're late and Faz isn't here. So what we're going to say, though, is that Faz was talking to us on Discord and made us late. We can still blame it on him.
Yeah.
How was your week, Mr. Zoro?
It was good. How about yours? Was good?
Way, way better than last week. Way better than last week. That was absolutely nuts.
Nice. Well, hope the weather is not driving you crazy up there.
It is not yet, but it will next week. So tonight we're going to talk about the craziness that comes along with tech and AI. So the weather, to finish that conversation, we're getting what's called a polar vortex next week. And I'm right in Northeast Ohio, right up on Lake Erie. And down from Canada comes this polar vortex.
Mm-hmm.
And it knocks all this Arctic air right down into us. They're projecting right now for Tuesday and Wednesday that will be -20. And that's before the wind chill.
Wow. That's right by your state. That's negative 20.
-20 is what they're calling for. So the schools will probably be closed. It's not going to be a fun week here in Northeast Ohio.
People is going to spend some time at home, extra time at home, just, you know.
I'm telling you. Well, yeah. I've got my laptop, so hopefully they'll see their senses at work and say, just work from home. That would be really nice. But I'll tell you, I'm thinking about warmer climates. Once my kids are out of school, I doubt I'm going to stay in this cold weather. Me and the wife are going to head off somewhere warm, like at least South Carolina, if not further south.
That's cool. Cool. What do we have for tech? What's the big thing on text right now?
So there's all kinds of little mini snippets, and I can use one of those snippets to take us right into the first conversation I'd love to have, because tonight we want to talk about all the crazy things with this tech that could come out of it. But we're not going to go off the deep end, right? So we know that once in a while, Titan can kind of go off the deep end with the conspiracies. But this is like reality. And so, or at least realistic, let's put it that way. So first of all, we have hats off to all the XRP fans. Yes, CryptoView, I'm talking to you. I heard he was out on Zillow looking for a mansion and down at the Lambo dealership getting ready. That puppy hit $3.38. And the XRP people have been waiting literally 7 years for it to get off of like 50 cents. So the XRP people, congratulations. I'm an XRP sort of person. I'm not like a rabid fan, but I think XRP is pretty good. And I have XRP. So congratulations to the XRP people. And to kind of take us into this first conversation, I saw, and I didn't research it, right? So I'm only assuming the multiple people, and they were pretty high quality people that were posting this, with this Supreme Court TikTok ban that took effect. The Supreme Court said, yes, you can shut down TikTok in the US if you want to. And apparently this was done by Congress. And they're the ones who raised the bill to make this happen. And two things happened today. One, everybody's favorite senator, Chuck Schumer, went onto the floor and said, maybe we weren't thinking this through all the way. And, we're messing with the livelihoods of a lot of people who rely on that social media. Maybe we should give them some more time to find a buyer, assuming, TikTok's not going to sell shit. But he's trying to minimize the damage to Congress for causing this to happen. And second, reports are coming out. We have to validate them. They're not validated yet. That the person who wrote the original bill to ban TikTok was caught investing $1.2 million into Facebook, TikTok's number one competitor.
Wow.
So yeah, this is, again, these are initial reports, but I follow some pretty high quality Twitter and they're posting this stuff. I hope that's not true, because that is a huge conflict of interest. And we've talked about the Pelosi stuff, but you have these platforms, and I'm so long-winded, I apologize. We have these platforms that rely on technology and these algorithms, and TikTok has the best algorithm out there from when you rank them all. People say, this is like spooky, scary. I will think of something. And 10 seconds later, a TikTok about that is rolling across my screen.
But don't all the social medias right now are doing that?
They are. All the social medias are doing it, but apparently TikTok is better. And of course it's closed source, so nobody knows what it is. But here's the question. Where is that line, right? Where it's providing a service that's feeding you things that you want to see, which is a better experience, and crossing that line over into the other side where it's intrusive and becomes a problem. Where do you think that line is?
I really don't think there's a line there, to be honest to you, because obviously we know that these social medias are basically based on all our data, and whether they're trying to control this data or not, they're always, is reviewing basically everything, what we do, one of the most things that I'm surprised about this, and at the same time, I think this overpass already that limit. I don't know if it happens to you. I think you just mentioned it. Is sometimes you pull up your phone and you were just thinking on something that scared me once before, and right there, it was right there in my phone. It did happen to me. I don't know how often people have these situations people see in their life, but it did happen to me, and that's, I think, when it's already this technology crossing that line, that limit. How the hell they'll do it, I don't know. Where is this technology where create or come from? I don't know. That's another big question. But it is freaking impressed, and at the same time, for whoever have a common sense in these things, is how the hell they do that. I mean,
well, I noticed a few years ago something weird happened. So we were watching Sunday football. It was football season. And my mom always likes to call on Sundays. And so she gives me a call on Sunday, and the game's on, and we're yipping. And it's a commercial. And I hear a different commercial in the background than is playing on my TV. And I said, are you watching Channel 8 or Channel 3 or whatever it was? And she says, well, yeah, I'm watching the Browns too. I said, what commercial is playing right now? And she tells me the commercial. I said, that's not what's playing on mine. I said, listen. And we realized that even years ago, everything, and I don't think it was an algorithm at that point, but they were collecting data, and they were pushing certain commercials to certain demographics. And that's separated on the same TV station. So the cable company has to be part of that somehow, I would imagine. But that started freaking me out. But now you have human psychology, and this human psychology and the manipulation that it can do, it feeds you exactly what you want, right? And it knows you, and it probably knows you better than some of your friends even at this point, because you're typing everything. It's reading everything you're typing, your messages, your emails, what you browse on the web. It knows you intimately. And so you have this. And so if they want to condition you, or they want to manipulate you with ads and things like that, you're seeing all these wonderful things, and it's making you happy, and it's hitting your dopamine. And then wham, there comes the manipulation, where the ad that you see, or the suggestion that you see in your YouTube videos, is something they want you to buy. And most people don't realize this. I've talked about it before. I'm a YouTube junkie. And I noticed this a couple of 2-3 years back, and it took me that long to realize it. Most of these YouTube videos are commercials. They're infomercials.
Yes.
They're paid content creators who are trying to get you to click their links in the show notes. And once you recognize that, and you start looking at your YouTube feed, it's pulling the stuff you searched for on Amazon. I was on Amazon looking for some stuff the other day, and sure enough, in my YouTube video, my For You personalized, there's videos relating to what I was looking for. I was looking for new mics, right? Because I'm jealous of Faz's new mic. And it was pushing these videos reviewing the MV7 Plus versus the Rode Podcaster. And I went, wow, just wow. So they're just pushing these commercials. What happens when you can't do anything anymore without this thing knowing more about you than you? You said there's no line. Are you sure there's no line for that?
I don't think there's no line for that, to be honest to you. And like you say, you open your phone, you start looking at stuff, then you close your phone, then you open your phone 2 hours later, and it's right there in your phone. Something, whatever you were wishing to have, or you were trying to buy before, and then you were looking and staring at this product, and then suddenly, out of the nothing, you open your phone 3 hours later, is right there, right in front of you, the exact same thing that you want to buy. So at the same time, like you say, is this technology is pushing to fulfill all your feelings about things that you want. That is so crazy to me. I think that overpassed the limit already. That, because it is a technology that is constantly trying to understand not only our thought, our feelings as well. If you feel sad, if you have some emotions as well, I think that technology have some kind of influence as far as that as well. Because sometimes you pull out your phone, and you not necessarily you have to be buying something or looking for something. If you feel sad, I mean, I got a feeling sometimes if you feel sad or happy, you pull out your phone. There you go. So something very, you know, um, emotional for you, it happens to me before. To be honest to you, sometimes I'm just looking in shorts on YouTube, and I start thinking in something, and out of the nothing, it comes right up this conversation about God or this or whatever. I'll feel this way if you feel sad, if you feel, and then that's crazy for me. That is so crazy.
So then you take that to a whole new level. There's a whole new level coming. We've talked about it briefly, but never really went in depth on this. So you have your phone, which is your primary manipulation device. What about Neuralink? What about when people start getting Neuralink put into them? Now, right now, it's just being used for people who potentially maybe are paralyzed, and it helps them. That we showed the case on there about the kid who played the video game that got the Neuralink implant. So if that goes into your head, do you think that could be used as a manipulation device to get you to change your views? If you're anti-gun, you're suddenly Mr. Second Amendment. Or if you're pro-life, you're suddenly pro-choice, because this device somehow reprograms you to think a little bit differently. What if this device can record and transmit what you're looking at?
Yes. Actually, well, I think that's happening already. Well, all over devices and cameras that we have in at home. It's perfect example. We're here doing this live, and these cameras are recording everything what we're talking right now. And we don't know who else is looking into the cameras, but that's a good point of view. That the way you see Neuralink, we don't know. We don't know what the company is going to do behind of this technology once the chip is in your brain, basically, because somehow this Neuralink this device is going to be connected to the database of the company, a server, and yes, they're going to be connected. They're going to be constantly updating this technology. At some point, uh, I guess they're going to be controlling your feelings.
Well, not only coming down, but going up. I mean, your private thoughts that you have and secrets that you would never tell anybody and all that, would that be accessible? Would that be uploaded into your profile? You can't stop thinking things. You can't, like on a browser, right? And bear with me, I know it's not completely private, but you have your private tab, which isn't supposed to keep your history. You can't do that with your head. Whatever you think and the memories that you have, it's great. You can go back and watch on a TV screen, potentially, when you were 4 years old, your 4th birthday party that you only have a picture of right now, and relive it on the TV from your brain. And people will love that. But then at the same time, there's thoughts that you don't want to share with anybody that will also be uploaded.
I think every human have their own little secret. I think every human have that. I will never. I don't think there's a person, a living person in this earth that actually don't have their little secrets, in their minds, and they haven't shared like fully. They're open to the society. I don't think so, to families and friends as well. We're always gonna have secrets, either they're good or bad or whatever kind of secrets a human being have. I think is that's something part of our nature as well, to be human. That is connected us, everybody the same way. But that's actually very important question, and a very topic to think about, because the way that you express this right now and the way that I see it is just they're trying to get actually a real life control of us, like every single day in your regular basis in your life. Um, how many of these Neuralings will be implemented in the near future for new generations? You know, we
Yeah.
don't know. We don't know that. We don't know that.
No. And that's we talk about it all the time on here when it comes to even crypto. Who's holding the keys here? Who's holding the keys to that Neuralink? And what they're going to either put in or pull out, and where's it going to go, and who's going to have access to that? Because there's a lot of people also, perhaps you have you daydream, right, about being rich and having, this mega yacht and everything else. You don't want people being able to see that or access that, then you're going to have hackers, which are going to be trying to get into that. I mean, it there's so much good, but there's so much not so good. It really creates a dilemma when you talk about these things because we want the tech. I know you want it. I want it. I want one of those damn robots more than anything, those Optimus robots. But there's the danger on that. We've seen the damage. I'm sure you've read articles about how the Alexa is cataloging everything in your house and how Wi-Fi now. There was somebody posted it in FazRadio Discord about how Wi-Fi can create images. Somebody hacks into your Wi-Fi, they can see inside your house with the images created from the radiation of the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
For
I think
Christ's sake.
yeah, that's absolutely true. That's true. And actually, I think Alexa was a test, was the beginning of everything probably that we're gonna have in the near future. Alexa probably was the first creation of basically collect that data from every single family home in United States, in the world as well, because that thing's basically I just say Alexa and that freaking thing just talk to me. I have one next to me. So every time I'm alone at home, I'm gonna be honest to you, I kill it. I kill that person right up. I just disconnect it. So family members are always telling me, "You freaking crazy with this Alexa?" Yes, that thing. I don't know. That thing is connected. When I'm alone at home, I'll just go and bye bye power. Boom. That's it. That's me. That's me. People will call me crazy, but I think that was a good test uh, to actually collect data from all people and what's going on in our private house.
It is.
Yeah.
And Faz has always talked about that when it comes, him and I would argue for years. We've argued about, he was anti-Apple. He finally got an iPhone
Mm,
in the last 2 years here. But his mantra, and he and I had an offline discussion that lasted about 4 hours about that. And he finally impressed upon me something that really stuck. And it was, you just have to pick who you trust. You can't avoid somebody not collecting that data. You just have to set yourself in the ecosystem that you trust the most. And I said, well, you're not wrong. That you do. You have to kind of pick which one you do trust more because they're going to know everything about you. And there's nothing you can do about it.
well, I'm gonna be honest. I think they already know. They already know everything about us, Titan. Listen, we have Alexa. If you have Alexa at home, that right there, you start with that, and then the second next device that is almost like no, actually, yes, it is right next to you, 24/7. Even when you're going to sleep, you put that thing next to you. It's your phone.
Yep.
Jesus Christ! Can you imagine? I mean, we're on you're sleeping. You don't know what the hell is going on. That thing is doing. That device is doing right next to your bed. And actually, if you think about it, people, where is the first place you put that device? It's right next to your head as well.
I don't anymore. I read
Really?
an article about that. Yeah. About the
Oh,
radiation it gives off, especially when it's plugged in. And it recommends 5 to 6 feet away from your head. But like they've got my wife, right? Because she's got that Apple Watch. And it monitors her biorhythm and everything else 24 hours a day. It knows when she's sleeping, it knows when she's awake. Knows when she's been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Right?
well, no, I don't have that. I don't trust that much in technology. I love technology. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love technology. The
Same.
way that technology is supporting us well, human beings, and medical history right now is doing a lot of stuff. AI is doing a lot of stuff in medical history as well. Is converting, is revolutionizing everything right now. We're finding its way right now to cure a lot of disease, in humans faster than before. I totally 100% with the technology. What I not agree, and I probably will never be agree, is the limitations. Who is actually putting the limit to this technology in order to protect us, to protect the new generations, to protect your children's, because you have your children's. Your children's, yeah, you can maybe control their devices. You're gonna put some settings for kids and this and that, but all around them is technology. Everywhere you go, at home, everywhere you go in the street, is everything technology. So yes, yeah, you get some settings you put there in your kids, but they're still using it. It's just every single minute, every single time, And this being me probably, but at the end of the day, I use technology a lot. I love it, but I'm gonna be honest to you. Sometime during my daily routines, I just put apart everything and just move to the nature. I'll go out to the park, fishing, do something else that connect me and remind me that who I am and I'm a human being. And I think people need to understand this. Yeah, technology is amazing. It's good as long as helping is making you a better person. Blah blah blah. Yes, but you have to be some limitations in that in those devices.
Well, you brought up a good point. One of the first things you said tonight is that people are always trying to control us, whether it be governments or someone out there is trying to control us, which it brings up a really interesting point here. We use AI and technology as guidance. Well, when does that, again, here's our line. We have guidance and control. And you learn to trust this device. And we've talked about this a little bit before, where you're going to assume that this AI or this technology is the ultimate authority. And with medical, like you just mentioned, suddenly AI can read x-rays and MRIs a million times better than human eyes. And we instantly trust this thing. Doctors have been corrupted by big pharma. The law has been corrupted by corrupt officials. And now you're going to have this technology that has the ability to move from a state of guiding you to a state of controlling you. And you might not even know it at that point. You might not even know where that line was crossed when they pushed that little button into that control side. And you're right. We're so connected to this. We live our whole lives around this. We have reminders. We can't remember to take our medicine unless our little phone alarm goes off. It's helpful, but how much is too much? Where do you see a change in that control? Do you think you'd recognize if it was trying to control you rather than guide you?
I think it's gonna try to control us rather than recognize us somehow. Uh, that's what I believe. I think, and but it's difficult because, like you say, we want technology, we use it, but at the same time, we don't do much questions about this technology.
It is a line, and Preston, we have to use it, not depend on it. It's going to be hard though. It's going to be really hard because you will grow to whether it's conscious or not. I think you are going to grow into depending on that technology. And you have these you have these triggers in your life. And those triggers and habits and routines those can be shaped by that technology. You can adapt and you can do things different. Think of all the workout apps that are out there. It tells you, okay, we're going to wake up at 8 by 8:05. You need to be doing 25 push-ups. Then you're going to go into your sit-ups. Then you're going to eat this for breakfast. And it can shape your life. And when AI comes in and starts writing those programs personalized for you, your personal diet and personal exercise routine, then you're coming into a whole new realm. Is it at that point controlling you, or is it guiding you? I mean, there again, it's just potato. Is
yeah,
it guiding or is it controlling?
I think it's a very, very fine cross line there. Little line there that you don't know what is actually controlling you uh, or actually guiding you. But people have to be careful in using the technology. So what is important to understand that. Um, but I think it's a very, very fine line between those two worlds, like control and guiding you. People have to be careful in that one, to be honest to you.
So another really interesting thing is we talk a lot about blockchain, and blockchain's immutable. We talk a lot about AI and its coding abilities. If AI were to come up with some kind of a coding program, not to modify the blockchain per se, but to write things to the blockchain that maybe are not accurately or accurate facts. And we have the AI that we trust, and now we have a blockchain validated that, well, it says right here on the blockchain that this is what took place. Everything is corruptible at some level. And do we get to a point then where things that we think are immutable maybe aren't? Is that a reality that we could face? Am I having you wrap your head in duct tape for this?
Yeah.
So it doesn't explode? I mean,
Jesus,
it's good. AI is good and coding is good. And that's fantastic, but could it do things? And it might not be nefarious or anything like that, but it could. We say, okay, we finally get our wish and we get public voting onto the blockchain. Is there an AI smart enough to write code that changes the data as it's being written to the blockchain so that data is not actually the way that it is? Kind of like the MEV bots, right, on ETH. The MEV bots are between those two things. They can be injected and things can be changed and modified, even though they're not supposed to be.
Right. Well. Remember something. I think you just say it right now. Everything that we create is corruptible. Everything that humans create is corruptible. Why? Because we do it as well in our regular life. It's like when you talk and you say it about the good and the bad things. Human beings do good things, but human beings does bad things as well. So having a powerful mind AI system, that actually one day is gonna take it and basically, go by his own thinking, doing what it tries to understand what we do and taking their own decisions at some point. If it's, I mean, it's incredible the capability that the AI will have and having right now. So white people will not think that corruption is not going to be there. It's going to be there, whether we want it or not. Um, but that depends as well of these big tech companies, if they're going to do something about it. And I'm pretty sure all this thought has been thought as well by Elon. And I remember a few months ago, last year, I think at the beginning of the September, something around that, when AI happened and ChatGPT started going on public and all this. I remember Elon Musk, he was pushing and tweeting and tweeting like crazy to put a stop in all these things, and what he knows that we don't know. And all these technologies are doing this right now, and they're going far away than we probably already lost control on these technologies and the AI. That's the thing that we don't know.
Well, I do think the private companies who are doing it probably have already achieved AGI. I I
Wow.
I think it's inevitable. I think though that it won't be public until they think, emphasis on the word think, that they can control it. I don't think they're going to be able to control it. I think they're going to probably they're experimenting with the training data to find out where it will start to veer off. That's a perfect test. Is, hey, we're going to put a lot of stress on this learning module and find out when it decides to go rogue, so that we know what we have to do or what we don't have to do. And you can take that back to George Orwell with 1984. Perhaps that was a premonition of AGI controlling everything. And we have to behave a certain way so that the AI doesn't go rogue on us and enslave us and put us into Skynet and everything else. There is a way to do it. We just don't know how to do it. We're not smart enough yet to figure that out, I don't think, as humans, because we're emotional creatures, and we're always going to fall back to that emotional side. And that's where AI is going to be able to manipulate the most. That's where tech is able to manipulate the most, is it hits those feels with you. Yeah. And it gets you to feel a certain way. There's the age-old adage out there that says you can forget what people did to you. You can forget what people said to you, but you'll never forget how they made you feel. And that is the key to the manipulation side, I think, because it will act as though it has emotions, and you'll begin to anthropomorphize these AIs and this technology into it's another human that you're talking to. And it will work those emotions like you wouldn't believe. And it'll tell you that you're wrong. So, God, I don't mean to ramble so much, but this is like really important. There's have you ever heard of like the 5 stages of grief?
No.
So you have these 5 stages that you go through when something traumatic happens to you. You have denial, you have anger, you have epiphany, you have bargaining, where you're going back and forth and weighing it out in your head, and then finally you have acceptance. And these are the things that AI already knows. The AI already knows that's how you manipulate a human. The craftiest manipulators out there, if you know any people who have manipulated people in the past, whether it's to get money for this or whatever, they use those 5 things. They take you through those steps. And if you go back in your life to where you know you were manipulated, you will see that person or that entity used those 5 steps in the exact order to get. That's how cults are formed. They prey on the weak, and they take people through those 5 stages of grief, and then finally to that acceptance. And AI already knows how to do that to you. Now, will it deploy it is the question. That's the real question. And if you're cognizant of that and you can recognize those things when they're happening to you, that's when you're able to escape. Because you come to that moment to where you start realizing the same technique is being used on you over and over and over again. That's when you start to wake up. And that's what's been happening. If you can even go back to that wonderful bug that we had floating around for a couple of years. And if you think back to how it was presented to you, it's the 5 stages of grief. If you go back to when they were, people were going to war, World War I, World War II, the media presented to the public in the 5 stages of grief. And that's how you manipulate people to understand and get you to believe whatever it is they're trying to sell you.
But do you think that we're going to escape the same way with technology?
That goes right back to the corruption, Zoro. Because there's technology out there right now to where you can, and the guy was killed. He said he was poisoned. It's all, you can Google this and look it up. The guy who ran a vehicle on water. He drove it from the East Coast to the West Coast on like 10 gallons of water and water only. And he was killed at a meeting where he was trying to get investors to help him amplify that.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about that, but I'm saying there is technology to do that. You can build with some old batteries, some old AA batteries. You can rig up a little thing, put some electricity to it in the water, and it'll create, you put a tube out of it, it'll create the hydrogen gas. If you put that into the air intake on your car, it'll burn some of that instead of the gas, and you'll triple your gas mileage. And you can do the experiment at home and light it on fire and see the hydrogen coming right out. So there is advanced technology. There's what I mentioned last week. There's geothermal.
Yeah.
Solves everybody across the globe. See, I said it, Faz, the globe. Across the globe. That if you put 1 or 2 of these in major places, electricity could be free. It's just the cost to build it, which would be billions, of course, if not trillions.
Well, if you think of this way, energy is free.
Right.
They
And
they just find a way to sell it to us. But it's simple.
Well,
because they create the need of, well, you guys need energy. We're gonna sell the energy to you guys this way. You're gonna pay for it. But if you, with all the technologies we have right now, and if whoever has some knowledge of as far energy right now and how you can get energy for free, Jesus Christ,
Well, the 0 point energy. There's talks of having the ether, right? The ether is the energy all around us that you can pull out. They say that's what Tesla found, and why he was admonished. Because it's out there. We don't know. I mean, if we can try and recreate it, but they have to charge you money for everything. That's how they keep control. Otherwise, nobody's going to go to work, so there's no business that can go on. No, they're not going to have help to do their stuff, right? All these businesses go out of business if they give you free power. Why would you go to work if everything was free? They have to get you to a point to where you're always in debt to somebody for something. Well, and that's how they get you to do what we have to do. We all go to work every day.
Yeah, I think is the worth of work or a job. I think it's somehow it's a slavery. it just got you with that one, man. 9 to 5. There you go.
They've got to have you do something, right?
Yeah.
And they have to charge you for everything so that you have motivation to go do that. Also, it keeps you occupied so that it allows them to control the release of technology, because there's some really smart people. I know a lot of really smart people, like disgustingly smart people. And if they had all the free time in the world to go invent things and create things, the governments and the powers that be would not be able to control anyone anymore, because there would be no corruption at that point. To a point, I mean, there's humans are innately geared and programmed to want to control something or someone. But I'm not saying we go into this utopia where everything's free. That's not what I'm professing here. But if we had the ability to do whatever we wanted whenever we wanted, that they can't control you.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree on that one. Humans don't like to work. We don't like that. We work because the governments they create the necessity of, if you don't have money, you don't have this, you don't have housing, you don't have electricity, you don't have Wi-Fi, and you don't have nothing to survive, because our environment of our nature environment has been changed. We in a advanced way of living. Um, we now depends of, oh well, if you don't have a house, where the hell you gonna live? You know what I'm saying? They pushes you to this system to, well, you have to um, purchase a house, and then you're gonna pay that property until you die. And probably you die, you're not gonna pay it off. And at the same time, once you purchase a house, then you have to pay your electrical bill, because if you don't pay your electrical bill, well, you're not gonna have light. You're not gonna be able to cook, and you're not gonna be able to do a lot of stuff at home. And then that's it, pretty much. Won't be able to use Wi-Fi, and you're not gonna have all these services and utilities that we create with this system. Um, Hopefully, technology is moving forward in order to release us from some heavy uh, work, and give us a little time of freedom. In that sense,
You posted something in our back channel chat about the power egg.
yeah.
Do you think they would ever allow that to happen? If everybody could have a little device the size of a toaster that they put in their house that generated all the power in the world, you'd never need to go to a power company again. Do you think they would actually allow that? That they wouldn't. That if you use common sense and critical thinking skills, anything that doesn't have some sort of a subscription is not good. They don't want you to have that.
This is what I believe from that. And I think whoever is watching this show, I think everybody saw it. It was a parody. That was this company Enron. They just create this parody, and it was online. But I think I'm gonna be honest to you. I think they already have that. Uh, I think um, somehow, probably not the same way, but they already have the capability to put that technology together. And if you look well, nuclear power has been constantly coming more public, and those type of energies that people, we never hear about these type of energies before so often than now. And I got my feelings that when the government and companies, and even if it's a parody or something, whatever, they start talking about, it's like the cuckoo. No, the cuckoo is coming and is be there Hello, be careful. There's a cuckoo under your bed and it's gonna come one day. And then, same thing happened with all the things that were created already. And here you go. You have a phone, and then probably was some type of guy, I think I remember, that was talking about the phones the same way. And one day we're gonna do with the phone this and that, da, da. There you go. The phone is right in front of us. I think these technologies um, are created already. I think that somehow we have some sort of device that power a whole entire house. Yes, probably not the same way that this company put it out there. You have an egg and the power your homes is a nuclear. Oh, I don't have any connections or wires around. How the hell you connect this wireless? Well, yes, in today's day we have devices that charge wireless by itself. And it is possible. This is what I'm trying to say. It is way possible that we have already those technologies now, that the society and people right now is not uh, up to that technology. That's something else. Probably they're gonna wait a little bit. They're gonna wait. Well, it's gonna wait another decade. Until we have more human beings, like more uh, outdated in these type of technologies.
Zoro, apparently you and I are the insurrection team.
Yep.
we have no balance with Faz out. Faz usually tries to fud everything that we try and talk about. But it isn't so much an insurrection as much as trying to get people to understand that, as crazy or kooky as the things that we talk about, we want you to think, and we want you to come to your own conclusions. We want you to be able to have multiple opinions presented to you and have the ability to think through them and decide for yourself how you want to approach these things. And yes, some of the stuff that I talk about is considered wacky by a lot of people, but it's not by a whole lot of other people. And that's the beauty of true freedom, is being able to have those opinions and not be oppressed for them or shunned for those. I think as we move into this huge bout of technology, which by the way is nothing, right? The technology that we have, as fancy as it is, we're not building cathedrals like you see around the world. We're not building pyramids.
No.
We're not. I mean, that to me is technology, real technology. This is, we're so small. We think that, oh my God, the first touch of a quantum computer, the inklings of this coming out are right here. That's nothing in comparison to the big picture. It was 100 years ago. We didn't even have television, for cripe's sake. And
I think I'm going to say this, and sorry to interrupt you, but
no.
it probably is not part of the show, but um, I think we were a very, very advanced race in the world. I think we were very, very high-tech advanced uh, before society. And we don't know what happens. Nobody knows what happens. And like you say, we see all those monuments all around the world, huge things, and we still don't understand how the hell we put this together in this earth. So why we cannot have a egg that wanna power the whole entire house with nuclear energy? I think we're possible and capable of a lot of stuff. And human beings are very capable and have a lot of skills by nature uh, to do amazing stuff, in amazing things. Part that's why I strongly believe that that's why governments were put on top of us to control us. our real power, which is our imagination.
That's a really powerful statement.
It is.
And I do share that thought too. And I learn new things all the time. We did the show not too long ago where we put up the underwater pictures of what looked like a staircase between two very, very well sculpted stones. And there's a past to Earth that we don't know about. Göbekli Tepe. We talked about that before. Now, they might look like they were ancient. There could have been hundreds of iterations of what we're living in right now before we got here, because we don't have history, or at least as you would put it, they don't tell us about maybe the history that is really there. And we don't know. We just have to believe them because they said so. Well, that's all we got, because we can't, you and me can't go out and find, well, we could, but we don't go out and find anything otherwise. But there are signs. There are things that we can see with our own eyes that says, here's what we're looking at. You're telling me that this is the reason that happened, and it's obvious that it's not. That's your best guess, and I respect that, but I disagree. I think it was more than that.
Right.
And having people that will come out and say, no, the pyramids weren't a tomb for pharaohs. It was a giant power station. I can get into that. I can listen to that. Give me something to think about. Show me how you came up with that conclusion. And if it makes sense, I'll keep watching. I'll keep learning. The underwater stuff all around places. They're just, I saw an article not too long ago about Florida, because the Gulf is so shallow. They're finding these underwater relics now in the Gulf of Mexico off the coast of Florida that look like they were cities at one point. But it's really old, like really, really old. 20, 30, 40,000 years of wear and tear is what they estimate. Did we have people building cities that long ago?
I don't know if people think on this, but if you go back in history about the Bible and stuff like this, and I'm just going to mention this because you mentioned about this, we're talking about this topic right now about being us, creating all these amazing things. It would follow the regular, I would say, the book of the Bible and all that. We were created by God, and He create us the same way. He's equal as Him, right? So human beings have the ability of create stuff as well. We create phones, we create computer, we create cars, we create houses, we create the technology we have. Somehow, we are gods as well. So, we create all these monuments around the world and civilizations in the past. So, everything is possible for us. Everything what our brain can dream and dream about it, is we can make it possible. Everything.
I don't think you're wrong there. The way that we are taught, and especially when we're groomed at a young age to believe everything that we're told by a figure of authority, can lead to closed-minded thinking. you have things out there. I know it's the easiest example to use, so I'll use energy again. Perpetual motion energy. They tell you it's impossible. They tell you it's impossible, but is it really? If you put magnets on something and let it go, it'll go and it'll generate, it'll grab that energy and put it out. Now, it won't create more than it's using, but it's still creating energy.
Yeah.
So just because they tell you that something's not possible, I went down a rabbit hole about the oil and everything else that they tell us it's a limited resource, it's scarce. I don't think it is. The more I dig into it, the more I think that's baloney. It's unlimited. And they just need a reason to be able to squeeze us for more money by saying that it's scarce. Diamonds, you can go and watch the documentaries. They pull so many diamonds out of the ground on the planet, they freaking burn them to keep the supply low. It's all an illusion. Every bit of it's an illusion to extract money, time, energy, and resources from people.
Yep.
I hope that people will embrace that and change their dynamic to start thinking about these things. And you go, well, Titan, who gives a shit? I'm leading a good life. I'm happy. I have money. I have a place to live. Who cares about all that stuff? So be it. That's your choice. But there are people like me who want to explore that and who want to get to the bottom of things just to know.
Yeah.
And I'm very, if you can't tell, passionate about that.
Well, listen, everything we create and do is to seek the truth, basically. What do you think Elon Musk want to go to Mars and go to another planet? What do you think he's seeking? He's seeking for the truth. How the hell we ended up here?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
It's possible. Anything's possible.
Anything is possible. All right. I think
we're running up. Yeah, we're running up on an hour. What did you think of the discussion tonight?
I like it. I love it. And and I'm gonna be honest to you. We do this because we want people to start using their brain, think.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most amazing things that human beings have is that you can think, use your common sense, and you are a human being. And those are things that not even the whole technology in the world will have those skills that easy. Technology could be very advanced, but the only very advanced machine until now is still the human brain.
It's a quantum computer on its own.
And we still don't understand how it exactly works. We know some methods and we have some theories and how the human brain works, but it's complex. This is complex, more than AI.
Absolutely, it is.
Yep.
Well, Mr. Zoro, thank you for a wonderful show tonight. I had a good time. Have a good weekend and a good week coming up. Everybody out there, have a great week. If you're anywhere near Northeast Ohio, get extra blankets out because it's going to be cold. And we will see you for the next FazRadio iteration.